Hey Project Life friends and crafters and all of the good things. I am super excited to be starting to work on March. This is gonna be, ooh, excuse me. This is gonna be a little compile of videos because I have decided to change up how I do Project Life a little bit. I'm just trying to check to make sure that I have everything on the screen and that we're all good. Okay. So, obviously I've been doing just Project Life the regular old way. I have a 6x9 album that I've been doing it in. I am all the way I'm all the way through February. I have been adding in a few extra inserts here and there, changing it up a little bit, but honestly, because I'm doing 2021 and 2022 at the same time, and as soon as I get 2021 done, I would love to go back and do 2020. I just need to switch it up a little bit, I think. I kind of want to get a little... So, one thing I did, I guess I should start there. One thing I did in 2021 was decide that I was going to stop my subscriptions of Stories by the Month from Elle and go strictly to Elle Studios because I felt it just matched my style a lot better. Matched my photos, I felt like it just went better. In 2021, I really wasn't like story based. I was just getting back into the swing of everything, okay? As I'm getting more into 2022, I feel like I'm kind of going back to story-based or wanting to tell more stories / I guess maybe getting more into the scrapbooking side of it, I should say. And realizing, catching up on old memories and doing story-based plus Project Life for 2022 is probably not going to work the best. So putting my stories more into Project Life, I think, will be better. Or at least highlighting some things that I want to highlight, I guess. So, I seen, her name is, I think, Marnette Scraps. Let me look it up real quick. Instagram, I think that's how you pronounce it. Marnetta Scrap. I'll put her name right up here. She actually works out of I think an 8.5 by 11 or some different type of size, but I love how she was kind of doing this. She was kind of just adding in random things into her Project Life, done lots of different pages, inserts, tags, that type of thing, and making it almost more story-based than Project Life. And then she would go to a regular spread type thing. And in her, I don't know if it's in her Project Life or I'm not sure exactly, to tell you the honest truth. But I wanted to kind of mix what she's kind of doing. And I believe I'm going to go back to getting... Well, I have been getting Elle Edwards Story by the Month, but in digital form. So that's one thing also that I have pretty much come to the conclusion of is, yes, I love product, but I'm starting to become much more of a hybrid scrapper. I like being able to use it for things that I can use it on and then just like stamp on it or that type of thing. So... All right, so March is actually going to be a little bit easier because the whole first week of March, myself and my husband were in Mexico, and I really don't want to document that here. Yes, it is a family story, but it was really my husband's and I's story. Our children were back home. We take a trip every other year by ourselves with with a group of our friends and family to a different area of the country, and this year was Mexico. So I want to document that we were there for that first month, but I don't need it to take up a whole insert. So this was the back end of that. This is the beginning of March. I still need to kind of figure out how I'm going to, well, I have decided that I'm going to go through and put tabs on the outside saying like January, February, March. So there will be a March tab. I just haven't figured out what kind of tabs I'm using. I only have small ones. So I have gone through and done that. I had a great photo of my youngest and the puppy snuggling on the couch when I came down when I came down to take him to school one morning, that I got a picture snapped. I usually have to be real quick and real sneaky about snapping pictures of my kids. I'm not sure if I'm going to put something on the back end of this. And then I really didn't have pictures as I was kind of recouping and getting the house back in order from the trip. We got back on the 6th, and I believe this was like the 7th or 8th. I think this was the next morning that I was back. Then I have like 1 or 2 photos that I don't know. Maybe I'll put on the back of this. I'm not sure. And then we did, that Thursday I got back, we did Day in a Life. If you haven't seen my video for that, definitely go check it out. I'll put it up here in the little eye or whatever. So that was the 10th, and that was a lot of pictures. Obviously, but that's all in here. And then we got to the next week, pretty much. So I didn't have, like, I have a ton of pictures, but not like weekly pictures. So I think that's just going to be enough for that week. I'm just going to let that week pass and move on to the next week, which would be, hold on, I gotta pull up my calendar here. Which would be, yeah, the 14th through the 20th. And as you can see, I've already started doing a little bit because this is kind of where I decided. And this is kind of why I decided to do it. Because I just had a lot of stories and I wanted to get them down. My son was trying out for his high school baseball team, and there was just a lot of anxiety in this household about that. He goes to a pretty big school, and so there's just lots of kids at every sport tryout. So like I said, there was lots, but he ended up making it, so you're gonna see that. Then I have a story to go on the back of this, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So like, this was a quote that Canon said one day that I immediately wrote down in my phone, and I have a picture for that, and then I'm going to do an insert, or I'm going to do a regular 6x9 for this week, and I think it might honestly go to the back. Again, it's kind of going to be like more of a monthly, I don't know. It's not quite a monthly spread of March, because I'm still going to do the weeks. It's just going to be, I feel like, a lot more inserts and a little bit more story based. I would love to pick out at least one story a week, and do more story based, something along this lines. And I went through and stamped all of this because, as you can see, that probably took me a long time. And today, I'm just recuperating from the weekend, so I decided I was going to do that. So yeah. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to just work through this. Like I said, this might be like a compilation because I am going to try and get through a full month. And then April, which it is April 11th, I think, that I'm recording this. I need to get into April that way. So, all right. So, but there will be points that I think I will just like revert back to old, Project Life, the regular Project Life, where there's just one spread. If like, I don't know, if there's no stories. I mean, if there's no stories, there's no stories. You can't have a story every week, right? But I'm really trying to be intentional and that kind of thing. Now, if there's a big story for a kid, like making the baseball team, it is going to be documented in here, but I am also going to go and document it in his album. So that he can have this, because obviously both kids can't have these albums if they ever do want them. If they don't, they don't. But I am going to put that in his album also, in a different type of story, that type of thing, and work through that. But this is kind of like my feelings in the moment type thing, my journaling in the moment, that kind of thing. So, but also just a little snippet of each day. So, all right. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to get doing. Let's get this started so that this isn't a super long just talking to you video. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope that it, like, I don't know. You can do project life however you want. That this is your projects, right? And that's just how I'm doing it. I know a lot of people put their, day in a life in with their main, and I know a lot of people keep it separate. I keep week in a life separate. So I will be keeping week in a life separate in whatever June or whatever it's going to come up in. I'm actually going to put it in with 2021. Because there is enough space. I think I will get 2 years every time out of an album for week in a life. So, in a 6x8. Unless that one year I don't want to do a 6x8 of week in a life, right? We can change it up. So, all right, guys, like I said, let's get started. And definitely leave me any questions that you have below. I will try and link most of this. It is going to be, I think it is going to be a little bit more of a modge podge of things now. Like this card, I know this is like May of 2020, I believe. This is March 2022, or this is, maybe it's March 2021. Again, just a little insert. Now, one thing I do have to get used to is these rings. This must be a Studio Calico album. My rings definitely do not fit in the regular, at the regular size. Like, I mean, these two, though, that's the regular, and that's not hitting that. So I'm going to be more aware of that now, because like I said, it fits right there. So those two fit. But yeah, I'm going to be more aware of that going forward. I keep on forgetting about it when I go to hole punch things and put things in this album. So all right, guys, so we're going to get started on these March plan. Project Life. There we go. If I can get that out. So as you can see here, and pretty much what I'm doing is kind of just breaking down, I think, Project Life a little bit more, trying to break down some of the stories a little bit more. I do not get the story kits, but at this point now I have found out that you can actually get the story kits just digital. I thought you always had to get the physical and the digital and then just wait for the, revisit sale to get the digital. So I'm kind of upset that I didn't find out this out before because I want the currently kit so bad. I think that it would just go so well in Project Life all of the time. So I guess I'll wait for the revisited sale, of course, to get that digital kit. But from here on out, I probably will actually get the digital kit for the story kits. There we go. So that's a lot of kit talking. Anyways, here I am just using the Apollo stamp, of course, because that's my go-to stamp, especially in Project Life. It's like the perfect size. And using an Elle Studio card that just says Things Canon Says. I think it needs an S. I go between Things Canon Say, Things Canon Says. Let me know. I'm not the best in English. I was more math. So all you grammar people, please let me know. Anyways, all right. So moving on to the next page, I just ended up putting that page together. I don't know why that got cut out, but this is just going to be a large 6x9 page of my boys walking on one of our first walks to get my little guy from the bus stop. You are seeing that I am using that chipboard piece, and you're like, wait, you use the digital. Yes. So I print my digital chipboard pieces out and then use the chipboard from the back of actually the printer paper that I buy, the Canon printer paper. It has a piece of white chipboard in the back, probably for stabilization, and it's like the perfect weight, and it goes through my silhouette and cuts from my silhouette, and I just literally send it right through there. So I can get chipboard pieces kind of the same and be able to resize them the way I want them and all that good stuff. So that is what I'm doing there. I do not, though, have a I do have a large format printer. I don't have it in my house. It's outside in my garage. I need to pull it in and see if it actually still works. So I can only print up to 8.5 by 11. So here I am just adding on a bit of pattern paper to make it into the full 6x12 size. The pattern paper that I'm using is Elle Studios. I believe you've seen it earlier. And just using a little bit of that precision glue to get that down, since I couldn't just run my tape runner on that. Next, we are going to actually work on an insert, because it is going to be a combination of inserts and regular Project Life, page protectors, I guess. But this is on the back of that 6x12 paper. So I figured I will just kind of play it just like how an insert would go, or a page protector. And you put the papers back to back type thing. So the next thing I'm implementing, which I believe like the whole scrapbook nation is kind of implementing, is printing out my journaling on that transparency sticker paper, the Mako sticker paper. I will put the link in the description below, because honestly, this is I even owned a sticker store and could never find a transparent sticker paper that did not smudge the ink. And guys, this paper is amazing. So definitely pick it up if you are using it, because I have actually just been getting kind of tired of getting my cards ruined in my printer. For some reason it kept on pulling them sideways or not straight or something like that. And so I was just getting really frustrated with printing on cards lately, for the ones that I do still have in physical form. So if I am printing digitally, of course I just type right onto the card. But for the ones that I still have in physical, I am now using this Mako sticker paper. And yeah, you can see it a little bit, but honestly, it doesn't bother me all that bad. Some people feel like they can, rub it into the paper a little bit more. I don't take that kind of time to do all of that. I don't mind that I can see it a little bit. And then just chopping that down to size, as those went a little bit over. Alright, so now you're probably asking, how are you going to get that flip up to go through when you're using a 6x12 protector? Well, I just showed you. I will cut a little slit in that, so that flip up can still come through that. But first we need to get the title page going. Oh, and you're about to see my first mistake since doing this. I was doing this on April 11th, I believe, going back through. And clearly I just had April on my mind. And yeah, I dated pretty much every page in March for April and had to go back. Unfortunately, this one is the one that I cannot fix, unfortunately, because it's in a flip up. Well, maybe I can't, because it's on the outside of the flip up though. I wonder if I can go back and do that. Anyways, you're going to see where I completely date this for April. Even I think I can't. I can't redate the title card that I'm about to date April. So those labels that you see there are just digital labels from Elle Studio. I usually just buy one and in Photoshop recolor them, so that I don't have to buy every colorway that they have. It's pretty easy to change the color of things. Though I did not have a large label anymore, because that's what I was really looking for down there, like a large skinny label. because I wanted to put Meet the Team for my son's Meet the Team night with some room to journal. So I ended up just cutting out a square and then using the edge of a hole punch, there we go, to make those little edges there. Again, using the Apollo stamp from Feature Craft. I know, I'm sorry. This is the best stamp in the world. Somebody needs to make a small Apollo stamp, because I bet a lot of people would order it, because I think me and what's her name? It starts with an L and I cannot remember it right now. But I know several other creators use this stamp, and everybody asks about this stamp, and unfortunately we cannot get it anymore. So all right, here we go. We are going to work on the title card. This is another March stories by the month card. There we go. I am struggling with talking today. I am actually pretty proud of myself. I believe that by the end of this, when you guys see my flip through of March, I have used almost all the cards in some form or fashion in my March, and that is kind of what I want to do, because I would buy digitals after digitals and never use them. Here we go, and bam, April. And never use them. And for March, being able to pull out stories the way I have and go more in depth on a few of the stories has really helped me get through a lot more of my digitals. So very happy there. And I'm loving being able to use more product and more of my cards in different ways. So I have also used this card in another project about my little guy when he was 1. So definitely getting my use out of this kit, and I am definitely happy about that. And I think that buying the digitals is definitely, for me, the way to go, because sometimes I just never can figure out how to use the products. So all right, so here I am about to slide that in there. You're going to see where I stop and pull that flip through. There we go. And yeah, and it says April. So I was even using green, guys, and still marked it for April, not March. All right, this is going to be the last insert that I work on for this video. It is going to be an insert about my little guy's late night tournament. My son's coaches. Oh, and you're about to see I printed the paper, or the words on the wrong side of the paper on that, so I had to go redo that. That's why I don't end up putting the words on this, because I had to reprint all of that. So just making mistakes everywhere here. But anyways, my son's coach ended up signing them up for an indoor tournament, not realizing that, oh goodness, it is a late night tournament, and these poor kids played until about 1 o'clock in the morning and came out with second in this tournament. But it was a fun experience, and the boys loved it, especially mine. Being able to stay up that late and play baseball was probably their dream come true. I don't know so much for the parents, but anyways, so yeah, and they had never played an indoor tournament either. So there they are with their little medals, and my son, it was their first time they could wear their uniforms and all that kind of stuff. So pretty good. Using some Elle Studio chip die cuts there, and yeah, just finishing it up. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. I know this was a little bit of a longer one, but yeah, I am excited for this new way of doing Project Life, and hopefully I can kind of keep up with it, because obviously it does take a little bit more work to keep up with it. But I think all in all, I will enjoy it a lot more, and getting the stories down. So, all Definitely hit that subscribe button if you are new, and thank you for coming if you are new. And if you would love to give me a thumbs up, I would really like that. That helps my channel a lot as I am trying to make my way to 1,000 subscribers. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.